PTF and JK back with you on the In the Money Media YouTube channel. We're here to talk about our top 5 horses for the Belmont Stakes at Saratoga coming up in just a couple weeks' time. JK, that was an incredible Preakness. Very excited to move on to this top 5. Where should we start on this list?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think a horse that you want to talk about is in a traditional prep for the Belmont. The Peter Pan would be Hill Road, trained by Chad Brown. A horse that, look, he's in his career, he's run into some slow paces. He's found a way to overcome them. He really feels like a horse that's going to appreciate that 1.25 miles, having a chance to run it, not participating in any of the previous Triple Crown races. And he just feels like a horse that's going in the right direction and could be that spoiler type. Let's not forget, we don't have a horse going for the Triple Crown, but we do have 2 pretty exciting horses that will be hopefully locking horns in the Belmont Stakes. But this horse feels kind of like Totalist, who also won the Peter Pan and spoiled the party for a horse like California Chrome.
I loved Hill Road's effort back in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Had a bit of an injury setback, but he's clearly back on the right path now. Might be tricky. There's going to be other really good horses with a similar running style in there, but I do believe he belongs on this list and is a horse to watch, not just for the Belmont at Saratoga, but possibly for the rest of the season. Let's move on to number 4. JK, this is a horse I might argue to have higher on this list even, had it not been for the fact that he's had a couple of setbacks himself with a foot bruise that's held him out of both the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness. But when I'm looking down at probable runners for this Belmont at Saratoga, I only see one that I believe is going to end up in the race, who's got who's got speed, and that speed early could be a differentiator. I'm talking, of course, about Rodriguez. Do you agree with me that he's a serious contender for this race?
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, our original top 5 Preakness video, we picked Rodriguez, and then an hour later he scratched, which made for an interesting content situation. But Rodriguez is one who I like going into the Derby. I just didn't think he was good enough to beat horses like Sovereignty and Journalism. Well, I still kind of feel that way. I don't love the fact that he's had a couple of hiccups along the way, but I still think he deserves to be on this list because he does have speed as a weapon, and he'll likely be a fresh horse. Although he wasn't able to run in the races, he hasn't lost too much time training, and he should come into the race fresh. He's going to be a long shot, but he is a little bit interesting.
Let's move on to number 3. So far on this list, I think we're in lockstep with our opinions. Number 3 is Baeza. And in a lot of years, this horse, off his progressive profile, big effort in the Derby, might even be higher on a Belmont Stakes type list. As it is, I think he's still squarely behind the top 2, but the horse has to be taken seriously. He's done a lot of great work in not a lot of time.
Completely agree. I mean, look, he was running at those horses late. Maybe with a little bit of a different trip, it would have been a little bit closer. I still think that Journalism and Sovereignty were likely best on the day. But remember, he's improving. He's a horse that can continue to improve. That's kind of what you get with John Sheriff's, a trainer that takes his time. And maybe he'll just peak on that first Saturday in June up at Saratoga for the Belmont Stakes. He definitely deserves to be in this spot. And I think some people might argue that he could slip his way in to maybe even the top 2.
And speaking of that top 2, this is a really fun debate. Great place to have a debate is in the comments on our In the Money Media YouTube channel. Let us know in your top 5. Who would you have 1 and 2, and what order would they be in? And hey, while you're on the page, please subscribe to the In the Money Media YouTube channel. Next goal for subscribers, I'm going to pick a fairly random number, 14,000. I want 14,000 by Belmont Stakes Day. If everybody watched this video would just subscribe now, we'd get there in no time flat. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, and thank you for supporting the In the Money Media YouTube channel. As for 1 and 2, we're, I think, in opposite order here, but I'm going to let your way prevail, and that's why I'm going to put number 2 as Sovereignty. I think you can even make a case that he should be number 1. I do believe that he beat Journalism on the square back on Kentucky Derby Day. I suppose you can argue trips maybe made the difference a little bit, but I think the way that Sovereignty looked so elite late in there, and the fact that he's just been laid out for this is another one of these Bill Mott with a target situations. He is, to me, clearly 1 or 2 on this list. I know you respect him.
Yeah, look, I have no problem with kind of going with a 1 and 1A. both these horses. You have the Derby winner, the Preakness winner. Obviously, Sovereignty has a little bit of the ace of spades beating Journalism on the square, but with the way that Journalism ran last time, I almost feel like his performance in the Preakness is arguably more impressive than Sovereignty's performance in the Derby, although Sovereignty beat him in the Derby. You see where I'm going here. I've got no problem with them being tied on top. Look, let's start with Sovereignty, right? He's a fresh horse. He's taken some time in between his races. But I'm also a believer that these horses, when they're in good form, they can run in 2 weeks and in 3 weeks and 3 races in 5 weeks. Doesn't concern me for a horse like Journalism, especially with a trainer like Michael McCarthy that I know for certain will put the horse first. And Aaron Wellman and Bob LaPinta, they're going to put the horse first. If he's not ready to rock and roll come the first Saturday in June for the Belmont Stakes, they're not going to run him there. So I'm thinking that I'm going to have 2 horses that are going to give their peak performance. And wow, how much fun is it going to be for us to be able to watch both of them lock up? So I need Journalism as a 1, but I won't fight you on Sovereignty as a 1A.
There you have it. That's our top 5 here on the In the Money YouTube channel. Once again, let us know what you think. And thank you so much to our friends at DK Horse for sponsoring this video.